This episode has been brought to you by CompleteNutra.com, Whole Family Nutrition. Welcome to the Healthy and Family Show. Each episode features interviews with doctors, experts, and real moms, revealing their secrets on how to keep you and your whole family holistically healthy. Your host is David A. Stone, award-winning movie producer, Amazon best-selling author, certified moringa grower, and founder of CompleteNutra.com, Whole Family Nutrition, which is committed to providing the highest quality, science-backed, non-GMO, all-natural nutritional supplements to keep your whole family healthy. Here's David.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name's David A. Stone, and welcome to another exciting episode of the Healthy and Family Show. This is episode 9, can you believe it? And if you're watching this show today, that means that you believe the health and wellness of your family should be top priority. But maybe you're a little bit confused with all the conflicting health advice out there. So our goal with this show is to interview the doctors, experts, and real moms who have the secrets that you can use to keep you and your whole family holistically healthy. And today I'm very excited because it's episode 9 and we have Coach Kim Meyer on the show. And Kim Meyer has a podcast. You can check it out. It's called Choose to Rise. It's on all the big podcast platforms. She also has a website called choosetoriseup.com. And I'm really excited to introduce Kim Meyer on the show because we're going to be having a conversation today about holistic health. And a lot of this conversation really digs into mindset and morning routine and some of the things that really keep her on track, especially with a family. And especially during this crazy time of COVID-19. So I'm really excited to introduce to you our guest today. And before I do, a quick message from our sponsor. Life is stressful. And trust me, I know, I stay stressed a lot of times. I'm trying to really learn to drop my stress level. But one of the reasons that life is stressful is because we have cortisol pumping out of our brain. Now, one of the really cool herbs that we have in our formula here, this is the Complete Stress formula at CompleteNutra.com. Complete Stress, very simple formula, ashwagandha, and black pepper. Now, if you don't know much about ashwagandha is a powerhouse herb. It's also what's called an adaptogen. And adaptogens, if you give them a Google, adaptogens go to work and adapt to your body where your body needs it. So if you need to relax, the adaptogens will help you relax. If you need some energy, the adaptogens will give you strength and energy. Now, one of the beautiful things about ashwagandha is it regulates cortisol. Now, it doesn't last that long, so you have to actually take this throughout the day if you have problems with cortisol. But if you're running around way too fast, always frantic, always trying to not be able to sit still for a moment, give some ashwagandha a try. Now, when I first realized how much cortisol was pumping out of my brain every single day, I was taking 3 in the morning, 3 a few hours later. So 4 times a day, I was taking 3 capsules. That was 12 capsules a day. Now, keep in mind, guys, this is herbs. This is herbs that are gonna help your body heal. These are building blocks for your body. But if your body is so used to cortisol pumping out of your brain on a nonstop basis, like most of the people in the world, especially after 9/11, there was a global cortisol uptick. Now, during COVID, I guarantee you there's a global cortisol uptick in the whole world. There's people being stressed out all over the place. So this is something that helps me calm my nerves. The stress formula, and the stress formula works really well with our anxiety relief formula as well. The anxiety relief formula is not just one ingredient, there's many ingredients, and some of the amazing ingredients in here are a B complex. We got all the B complexes, we have calcium carbonate, but we also have some ashwagandha in this, but it's not as much ashwagandha as in this. So when you take these combined, they're a really powerful team because the anti-anxiety formula has rhodiola rosea, which is also an adaptogen. So when you double up on adaptogens, your body has so many building blocks to use to build and to heal. So I just wanted to introduce to you the incredible formula called Complete Stress Relief. So if you want to give Complete Stress Relief a try today, go to CompleteNutra.com and then fill up your cart with all these amazing ingredients, and then at checkout in the discount box, enter EP9 discount. That's EP9 discount. Add that into the discount box and you're gonna get 20% off your entire order. So, and that even includes sale items on the site. So complete stress relief, it's just a go-to formula. I only take it twice a day, 2 in the morning and 2 in the evening, and it really helps me regulate. But when I really needed it, and when it was a very stressful time, I was taking 3-4 times a day. So you really can't take too much ashwagandha. Give it a research, go to pubmed.com and type in ashwagandha. It's a long word, but it's a very powerful word. And keep in mind, Complete Nutra is always committed to non-GMO. This formula is gluten-free, all natural, no hormones or lactose or antibiotics, and it is vegan friendly. So we are committed to GMO-free. All of our products are GMO-free because GMOs are bad. So that's Complete Stress Formula. So I hope you check it out because it really helps. So I'm really excited right now to introduce to you our guest for today's show, Coach Kim Meyer. I'm really excited to be here right now with Kim Meyer. And Kim, tell us a little bit about yourself because you are a health and wellness coach and you're a speaker. You have an awesome podcast called Choose to Rise, right?
Correct. Choose to Rise.
And it's really great, very short, like snippets that people can just dig into. So first, quickly, just tell us a little bit about yourself and about some of the passions that you have and why you're a health coach.
Okay, well, I am a mom of 2. I'm a wife to a teacher. I'm an Iowa girl through and through, born and raised. So all about the Midwest. And I'm a former educator, former school administrator. And I started on this journey, my own self-care journey, myself back in 2015. And when I started on my own journey is because I was a busy professional, just getting super burnt out, trying to overserve everyone else in my life for my family at the sacrifice of my family and myself. And so I had to figure out for myself what self-care looked like, what I wanted and needed my health to be like, because I also saw myself heading down the same type of path that my very obese father still lives in. And I didn't want to be that way. I didn't want my kids to have that kind of relationship with me or to see that as their role model for life. And so I knew I needed to make a change. And so I started with me first, much like, if you want the world to change, start with yourself. Yeah. So I did so with me first and started on my own journey. And then I started, if I can feel this good, I need to tell other people about it. And so I started partnering with my team, the people that I started working out with and getting healthy with. And I started telling other people and growing my coaching business. And from there, it's just kind of continued to evolve as far as just helping people move more. I mean, it's very simple. It's just move your body more.
Okay.
Better quality foods, and it's, consuming better content, and not just consuming better things like what you're putting in your body, but most importantly, what you're putting in your mind. Yeah. And so not plugging into the media, the news. We don't even have the news on in our house hardly ever anymore. Not reading the newspaper. You get to decide what shows up in your news feed, all those kinds of things. So for me, holistic health is really you being in control over what you're consuming, both, what you're eating and those kinds of things, but also what you're consuming with media wise and who you're hanging out with and those kinds of things as well. Good mental health, good physical health, spiritual health, those kinds of things. And just really being in tune to what those kinds of things are. And so I was kind of backtracking a little bit here. I was a full-time school administrator as a curriculum and technology director at my school. My husband, so very serving of we have 5 different buildings in our school district. I've worked very hard over the last 12 years to get to that point. I was keep moving up the ranks of classroom teacher and specialty teacher, and then got my master's and then became a school administrator.
Wow, awesome.
Yeah. And so then I was just okay, what's next? What's next? But just like a lot of people climbing a corporate ladder, the end of the ladder comes at some point, and then it's well, now what? And so I'd reached school administrator point. I decided that I never wanted to be a principal, but yet I was expending all of myself to other people and I didn't like that anymore. So I knew I needed to make a change. So I did. And that's kind of where it's got me today.
And this was 2015 that you made that change?
Yeah. 2015, I started making that change. Over the last few years, it's just continued to improve my health, but also improve my family's health. And then also knowing that I've been able to impact other women and their families and how they show up in the world has been super rewarding. So.
You know what I really like about that story is you're showing people a model of, look, we're in a microwave culture right now. We're in a fast food culture. Everybody wants to like do these fad diets. They're going to drop off a little weight really quick, or, be rich like when you're 22 and whatever. Your first business just succeeds, whatever. We just want everything to happen right away. And what we got to understand is the long game is the key. And so if you really want to do something, you really want to live a life that you love, that you desire to be in, it might take a year to work on one piece. And then once that piece is done, then you can have enough, stabilize it. You could add in another piece. It's like, I think sometimes also we're all like, let's run 5 miles every day. And then you start doing it for 2 days. Then you get so sore and burnt out that you stop running and you don't actually even walk for the next 3 months.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
I think it's something like habitual. Like find those healthy habits that we could program in our life.
Exactly. And finding support to do it with. And so important. It's not just like saying like, oh, I want to lose 10 pounds. Like, well, what are the steps that are going to get you to that 10 pounds? And who are going to be the people that are going to hold you accountable and have your back when you say that like, oh, it's too hard today. Like, who's going to show up for you and say, no, this is what you said you wanted and why you said you wanted it. Like, let's keep going. And yeah, like there's tons of statistics and science out there that one of the things I talk about with my clients a lot is called habit stacking. And you start with one piece. Let's get good at this. And when you feel like you've not necessarily always mastered it, because we're not a master of really anything in life, but like it's just showing up for yourself in this one thing. And then we'll add the next layer. And then if we get good at doing those two things together, now we add the next layer and we just keep building. And so for me, like, when I start working with my clients, they get all the tools they need right away. Nutrition, fitness, support, all of it comes together in a package. But we always start with one thing. Like, what's your one struggle area that we could really make a big bang for your buck right away? And like, let's start there. And then, so for me, I was a former athlete. Like I was an athlete in high school and college.
Oh, cool.
And I coached a lot of athletic teams until I came to this position where there's just literally no more time in my day. But doing those kinds of things, like I knew I could do those. I could work out every day, but it was like when and how. So I needed to find something that fit me that I could do from my house. And so we do at-home fitness programs. So right there in my living room, I'd literally roll out of my bed, I'd go downstairs, get the workout in before everyone else woke up in the morning. And that's just where it fit in my day. Now, I try to find people where their time slot is in their day, where it's going to most benefit them. But I started with fitness. And when I was kind of mostly through that first fitness program, is when I really started to like think like, okay, I need to really change what's going into my body. Like I'm starting to take care of it. I need to really take care of it.
Yeah.
So then I layered on nutrition and I got better at understanding how to fuel my body, not just feed my body, but fuel it. And then from there, then it was like, okay, now I start more introduction to podcasts and good books, that kind of thing. And so then I was just making little swaps. Like I have 10 minutes in the car from how I would run the daycare loop from like, going to take kids to school, to wherever, and then going to the school in my office. So it's like, what can I plug into for those 10 minutes? Or instead of listening
listening to like an audiobook or something?
Yeah. Audiobooks. I'm a huge Audible subscriber. Love listening to audiobooks or just podcasts in general. And so I always try to plug people in right away with personal development, because that really, the biggest transformation that you can ever have in your life is the 6 inches right here.
Like very true.
It's not always in your physical body. It's the right here between your 2 ears. And so if I can help make that switch faster and kind of incongruent with the other layers, like it all starts to work just a lot.
I think
faster.
That is the first thing that we have to start. It is in the mind, because we got to tell ourselves, we have to actually believe in our mind that we can achieve these things that we desire. Right. And I think, so I love what you're saying. We got mental game, we have food, what we eat, and then we have movement and physical activity. That's a really good way to break it down. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I was trying to like fill people's buckets in those three categories. And like where, if like you're really feeling like, I just don't feel like working out today. Well, like why? Like, is it because you're physically sore, you can't, or is it because you just lost your motivation, or you need to be inspired again, or reminded of what your goals were? And that's all up here. That's all meant mindset stuff.
This
like,
is
or
holistic.
Do you think
this is the whole person, all of it. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So when I ever am working with anyone, and even just like building businesses, like helping coaches become coaches of other people, like, do you believe that you could build a business doing this? Do you believe that you can help other people? And it mostly starts with their confidence in what they're able to do for themselves before they start telling other people about it.
And I did include financial health within my version of holistic health because I think in the world we live in today, it's an important piece.
Oh, absolutely it is. Absolutely it is. Financial health for sure, because, and not just like to have money and like be really rich, like that's not financial health to me. Like financial health to me is like, I have choices in life. I get to decide where my money goes, or I get to decide what I want to do in life, and not have finances be a limiting factor, but finances being a choice factor for me.
Yes.
That I get to choose what I want to do with my life. Yeah.
CompleteNutra.com, whole family nutrition.
Hi, Dr. Jessie Keener here, and we're going to talk about the solution for stress. It's called Complete Stress Formula, and this is probably the biggest issue hitting Americans above the age of 18 on a day-to-day basis. In my clinical practices for over 30 years, this is the thing that's hitting people the hardest, stress. And we all know that stress kills, but we're just now learning in clinical nutrition and herbal medicine that there are ingredients called stress adaptogens that actually help the body cope with stress and help the body stay balanced under higher levels of stress. Sound like you? Of course it's you, because you're probably working a 40-hour work week. You may be raising a family. You may be working and raising a family, so you're under a lot of stress. So this is a superstar because it's using a proven ingredient that's been shown clinically over and over for decades to not only help the body deal with the stress, but adapt itself and tonify itself so that it handles stress better. The name of that ingredient is ashwagandha. I know that's a mouthful. You don't have to remember that. Just remember complete stress. But when you take ashwagandha, it lowers what we call now the stress hormone, or cortisol. So when we're triggered by what we deem to be an emergency, so you mom, that could be you on the way to dropping off the kids, and one of them is running late and is too slow getting out of the car, and then they start crying because they don't want to go to school, and you've got an appointment and you know that your boss is going to be there waiting for you for that meeting. That's called stress. But if you're taking your ashwagandha a couple of different times a day, it's going to lower that stress hormone called cortisol and help keep that hormone, when it gets too high, from upsetting your blood sugar, keeping your nervous system agitated, and short-circuiting your brain. So literally too much stress hormone, your blood sugar goes down, your thyroid stops metabolizing properly, and your brain inflames and can't process information properly. So that's why we have this in our product line, because we're all dealing with stress in various degrees. You take this once a day, twice a day if you feel like you're under just a little bit of a stress. But if you're very stressed, maybe you're a busy entrepreneur or mom of a couple of kids, you might need 2 to 3 capsules 2 to 3 times a day to keep your stress level lowered and keep it in the right zone. A great marker for how stressed you are is how you sleep at night. That's why we have the sleep formula, and these two can be taken within the same day. You take the ashwagandha throughout the day, you take your sleep formula at night. It's a great combination. So complete stress for your anti-stress protection. I wouldn't recommend this for kids under 12 just because we don't have enough clinical research for children under 12. Right as kids start to go into puberty, they do need help with their stress hormone, particularly in America, particularly with the long days at school and the long homework hours at night. So 12 and up, it's a good idea to get them started on their stress management.
CompleteNutra.com, whole family nutrition.
Coaching is my thing because I can see it show up in pieces everywhere for me. And just helping people get more confident, get stronger in their bodies, stronger in their minds, stronger in their health and their faith, and financially too. But like, just
definitely
find those things that light you up, whatever that is for you.
And you're serving people, and it sounds like that does light you up. And I can hear another passion. I mean, one of your superpowers, it seems like to me, is staying present is being able to be present. I just heard a quote, if we live in the past, we are depressed. If we live too far in the future, we have anxiety. And so we need to learn to be present. So if you have depression or if you have anxiety, maybe you're living, it's like we have this escapism mentality, like I'm at home, I don't want to be here, I got to get out of here, I got to go to work. And then you get to work and you're like, oh, I got to get out of here, I got to go home. It's like we're never living in the moment at the place and being, well, if we can learn to do that, to be present. So can you talk a lot about how did you learn to be present?
Well, part of it started to eliminate the distractions. So for a while, it was like we kind of had a rule for a long time, and we still kind of have it, like no technology at the dinner table. Then it was like when you're home, like your phone goes in a basket, or you're just unplug. And so and then also like notifying people of that. So like setting yourself business hours if you're working from home, or just kind of knowing and kind of telling the people in your life, like I'm not going to answer my phone between this time and this time, or this is making it known to like even other family members, like this is our time. This is when we're plugging in. But it also just becomes like a habit, like we kind of talked about, and just being disciplined enough to say, this is where I am. This person in front of me it deserves 100% of my attention right now. And even like thinking about it as a mom, like I can look at my 7-year-old right now and be like, she's never going to be 7 again. In fact, she's going to turn 8 in a month. Like, we're never going to get this time back, right? So how can I, and even if I am working on something and she wants my attention, especially now that we're all home together all the time, like I'd be like, okay, can you give me 5 minutes? And then I'm all yours.
Well, starting your day in gratitude allows you to appreciate this stuff too.
Yes. Yeah. And just knowing what are your priorities are and what it is that you really want to, if you can get to the end of the day, Brendan does this, like you can get to the end of the day and say, where did I add value to someone? What is something that I absolutely loved or what I'm grateful for? Like, really getting to a point where you can identify those things at the end of the day that, what does a fantastic day look like to you? Like, is it something that you loved? Is it someone you served? Is it something that you have accomplished during the day? And if you can get to the end of the day and answer yes to those questions, it's a good day, regardless of whatever else happens. So just figuring out what your priorities are and just being present in the moment, knowing that time's going to pass and you're never going to get it back again.
Another cool thing about being present in the moment, especially at dinner time with families and turning your phone off. Here's another thing that I don't think people are necessarily understanding yet. I know most people aren't. I've listened to Dr. Mercola. Our phones are going to be touted as probably worse than cigarettes, he's saying, within the next 20 years. Because of the EMFs that we are literally never giving ourselves a respite from. Because our phones are always in our pocket, or they're by here, or we're wearing earbuds with more EMFs. But it's like having those times to... Now, I've been actually hitting my airplane mode on all my walks. I still want to track my steps, but if I put it on airplane mode, not only can nobody call me, so I'm staying present in the moment, but I'm actually living more like the batched email life. Remember, You've Got Mail or Juno? It's like you go there and look at it at noon, and it goes, here's all your messages. Well, when I turn it off of airplane mode, on Mother's Day, that was what happened for me. I put it on airplane mode, and it was so cool. I actually forgot it was on airplane mode, and I started trying to check it. No new messages. So I kept putting it down. And then I realized, oh, wait, it's on airplane mode. I turned it off, and it was like... But
all the things. Yeah.
I think that we just, not only is airplane mode good for our social interaction with people, we need to wake up with these EMFs and 5Gs. I mean, people are literally sleeping next to their phone. And they're not getting good sleep. It's like, if we could just, it's because it's like another arm. It's like our external hard drive for our brain. Like all the stuff we don't want to store in here, we put in our phone. So if we ever, we just feel so attached to it that it's a little scary to go airplane mode. Or I've also been hearing doctors prescribe digital fasts, even for whole families.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I used to sleep with my phone next to my bed, and sometimes I do if I have something that I really have to be awake for in the morning. But I always have it down. And now my office is right off our bedroom. So it just sits right here. One, that's really awesome for not hitting the snooze button, because if your phone's your alarm and it's right next to you, that's the first thing you just hit snooze. and go back to sleep. So my alarm is my phone still, but it's 20 feet from my bed, a ways away. So I have to get up to go do that. So, and that's another tip from Mel Robbins, like her 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 situation is like, put your devices not in your bedroom. Like she doesn't even recommend you have a TV in your bedroom. Like that should be your quiet space. And so I always have my phone here in my office and never really by my bed, or in the bathroom or wherever you want to put it. And then, like anytime that you can just unplug is a good thing.
If you I think everybody should try to put their phone on airplane mode and try to forget it's on airplane mode for a while. See if that can happen. Like, I know it's going to be crazy and I think it's going to be like, I don't want to do this. But when it's on airplane mode, there's no signals going in and out. So, I mean, I don't know. I think if we're not aware of this, we're not going to do it. And if we don't think it's important, we're not going to do it. And it's all good for everybody's different. But I just think I want to give my body the best chance to recharge itself and heal because Dr. Mercola, do you know who Dr. Mercola is?
I've heard of him. Yep.
So he has some cutting edge research on Mercola.com, but he says that if we can find a respite from all the EMF frequencies, if we can turn our phone off at night, maybe even turn our router off at night, plug in our computer instead of using Wi-Fi all the time. If we can give our bodies some time away from these EMFs or 5G or whatever, our bodies are meant to heal. Our bodies are regenerating machines. If we can actually give ourselves some time away or go camping, that would be amazing. I've been doing that more lately. And recharging in nature, then we might actually be building up an immunity a little bit. If we give ourselves consistent time to get away from the waves, then we enter, keep going to work and doing our thing. But we have this place that's a haven that we can go to that is, I mean, frequencies are the weird one because they're invisible. And I don't know that we're necessarily talking about them all the way. And now 5Gers, they're calling them like flat earthers, like 5Gers. It's like, come on, guys. I don't know. But I'm a little conspiracy theorist because I'm a filmmaker and I write sci-fi scripts. But I'm looking at it. It's like we're living in a sci-fi movie right now.
Yeah, it's our perception as a reality. So whatever you want to believe, it becomes your reality. So you can make your own sci-fi if you want.
Yeah. Well, I mean, with this whole, with whatever's going on in the world right now, it's
yeah. I feel like there is so much not researched about it that it's just one of those silent things that nobody thinks about. They're just, again, there for the convenience. So
you're right.
Just like
it's convenient. It's easy.
Yeah, just like our food changed and causes all these problems. Now we're just so much more connected and it's causing so much social emotional issues. But now eventually someday we're going to figure out like, oh, all this EMS stuff is really what's causing all of the cancer in the world or whatever. Like we just don't know what we don't know right now.
Yeah.
And just like we kind of, the silent thing that no one can see. I mean, if we could even talk about the like COVID thing for a very
we could briefly talk about that.
Right? Like it's something that we can't see, we don't understand, we don't know about. And so people either go in the massive fear direction or they go in the massive denial direction. And there's like, where's the common sense, people? Like, let's just really think about this. But it's something that's just been, it's a danger. It's an issue. But there's people so far on either side of the fence that what is true, right? And you have to figure out your truth around it. Whatever the danger might be, we could go in a million directions on things that are wrong or bad for us. But it's really a matter of figuring out what's good for you and what level are you willing to advocate for, or,
And where are we putting all of our focus? If we listen to the news, we're probably screwed, honestly. But it's like, where are we? Because if we listen to the news, that brings our focus to the news. And then all of our focus is there instead of on how are we going to serve others? How are we going to change the world? How are we going to do the things that are important to us? So for you, how do you approach this COVID situation and all of this with kids? Like, what's your kind of approach to keep your family healthy right now for the last couple months?
Well, we, like I said earlier, we don't watch the news. if something really needs to get to me, I'll find out about it. Right. Like
definitely.
We don't watch the news. I don't plug into the governor's daily update. I don't like none of that stuff. Like if I really need to know, I'll know.
Yes.
Like we practice the safety measures. We've been staying home. Like only one person is the one going to the grocery store. We've been trying to order in as much as possible as far as like deliver to us versus going to stores kinds of thing, just really cutting back. But like, as far as like my kids, like I try not to expose them to a lot of the information because one, it's changing all the time and I don't want to provoke fear. We just talk about like, we're doing what we're supposed to do or what are the rules, like, right. Stay home. Don't go get in contact with people that, you know, are outside of your family. Wash your hands, all like stuff that we should be doing anyway. So just staying healthy. But as far as like just mental health, it's 100% just kind of keeping your bubble. So that could be perceived wrong, but like just stay in your lane, you know, like what is it that you have to know? What is the things that are nice to know? And then what are the things that really aren't going to change the game for you and are just going to take you down in a downward spiral? Like we have family members on both sides of the fence. Like, with family that are like glued to the TV, they know how many cases are in how many counties. And when they go on their walk in the day, they notice like the license plates of different cars. Like, oh, there's this many. Oh my goodness. Like, if you're not coming within 6 feet of the people, it doesn't matter where they're at. Like, be safe, right?
Yeah.
But it's just where your focus goes, your mind goes, where your focus goes, your energy goes. And where do you want to put your energy?
Yeah.
And something that you can't control or something that you can control.
Right.
And I know for myself and for everyone else too, like the only thing you can control is your mindset, what you're putting your time and energy into and your own thoughts. Like I can't even control my kids as much as I'd love to, but I can't. So I can only control what I can control and what I can tell them and teach them and those kinds of things and have to hope that they make their own good choices. Based
that's a good point. If kids are watching this, kids, look, you guys are your own people. You get a chance to make all your own decisions, but understand that you are the future of our world. And right now, you are the ones that are going to have to learn. Kim, you made a good quote on one of your podcasts. You say something about the planting. What was that quote? The planting and something about the garden. I forget.
Oh, the seeds that you plant, the thoughts you have for today are the seeds that you're going to be planting for future growth. So if you're planting negative thoughts and negative things, negative decisions, if you're watching people who are making negative decisions as well, like those are all seeds that you're planting in your garden of life. And it really, what you do now is what's going to come into fruition later.
Yes.
So, plant good seeds, plant positive thoughts, plant good decisions that are going to grow into something good later.
I love that. That's an excellent quote to end this on because we could keep talking. In fact, I have a lot more thoughts in my head that I don't necessarily want to stop talking, but I think I would be excited at some point, maybe if you wanted to do this again, but this was great.
I'm glad you liked it. It was good talking to you too. Like just talking over all the things and I love it.
Yeah. And we could take it in so many different directions. And stuff. So, but anyways, I really do appreciate all the content you're consistently putting out. You're not trying to do this whole get rich quick. Like you treat one subscriber as if they were all of your subscribers. And the reason I say that is because you continuously deliver content and I know how much work that is. And so, I just want to say, first off, thanks for caring about everybody so much to do that.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
My show comes out every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and it's my privilege to be able to add value to people. It originally started with me just going live on my Facebook page and sharing personal development things that I heard and learned. And then a good friend of mine started a podcast network, and he was like, "Hey, you ever think about turning this into a podcast?" And I was like, sure. And now it's just kind of evolved over the last 3-ish years. And so, every Monday, Wednesday, Friday comes out a podcast. So it's been fun.
So tell everybody where they could find out more information about you and go ahead and plug whatever you have.
Okay. Well, my podcast, like I said, comes out every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. It's called Choose to Rise. You can get it on any podcast platform. And then you can go to choosetoriseup.com and find out more about me and what I do. I'm KJPMEYER on pretty much all my social media platforms. And and my Facebook page, Choose to Rise Up, has my video version of my podcast, as well as other just social media life posts and how I try to live a healthier life and motivate other people to do the same thing. So, yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you so much for being on the show, Kim. I really had a pleasure talking to you.
Awesome. Thanks. Same.
Thank you for joining us for the Healthy and Family Show. Visit our website at healthyandfamily.com. That's healthyandfamily.com to see what all the other doctors, experts, and real moms have to say about keeping your whole family healthy. This episode has been brought to you by CompleteNutro.com, Whole Family Nutrition, and aired on the Goldstone Network. People, Planet, Future.